What up, everybody? Welcome back to the Cafecito and Kane show, special Saturday edition. Why? Because it's fall camp, the pads are popping, and football's here. We are 3 weeks away from kickoff against the much beloved Florida Gators. Yeah, and there's a lot of talk. And yes, Robbie, I see your comment, and we will address that immediately. I don't know if you saw Coach Cristobal's interview with Don Bailey Jr. right after practice ended. They did. I don't know if you'd call it a full scrimmage, but they definitely did some like 11-on-11 full pad situation kind of stuff. And hey, what up, Pimp Down? And apparently the offense won the day, which is good. That is a great sign that there's that back and forth, that competition. I was not concerned one bit about the defense, kind of dominating throughout the week, because knowing that we're going in to year 2 of Lance Guidry, where this defense has had a full year and an off season to really get a hold of this playbook, digest it, understand everything, because it's not an easy playbook to learn, especially for DBs. And also we've brought in a couple new coaches, Chevis Jackson, brought in Coach D-Nick last year, who's, I think now this is his second year with the program. So Lance Guidry and this defensive staff really have their fingerprints now on this defense. And it's looking more like what they want it to look like. So when I heard the defense was dominating, I'm like, okay, I would hear the same things in the early 2000s. I've talked to people and they confirmed that, yeah, in the 80s and 90s, it was the same. You hear the stories about Jerome Brown and Warren Sapp that, you had to take them out just so they're able to run certain plays that they wanted to run on offense, because they were just so disruptive. They would mess up practice. They were so disruptive. And there were more guys that did that. So, I heard that and I was like, okay, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. That just, negative towards the offense. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. I think it's more of an encouraging sign for the defense more than it is for a discouraging sign for the offense, because we know what we have talent-wise there. You're returning 2 really productive receivers. You added Sam Brown, who is also a very productive receiver. We'll get into that. We'll get into more individual guys, but that wide receiver room's pretty loaded, I would say, especially compared to 2 years ago. And then you got a tight end room that's fully healthy. A lot has been made about, lack of production from the tight end room. That's because we weren't throwing them the ball. Okay. So, it's, hold on a second. Let's go. How did the O-line? Yeah, we'll get to all that. Sorry, I was just getting a text. I got to stop looking at my phone while I'm doing this because it'll throw me off. But yeah, no, you can't concern yourself too much with that, because if the offense was miles ahead of the defense, I would be a little bit more concerned. But defense being ahead of the offense, that's super common. The tight end room. So it's not like we had a guy. It's not like we had an OC that didn't want to throw the ball to the tight ends. I think it was more of a quarterback issue. Wasn't checking down, wasn't looking for the tight ends. And also Elijah Arroyo, who's your top guy, was out all of last year. Riley Williams was banged up. You didn't have Elijah Lofton here. Cam McCormick really is a blocker. He's not a receiver. So they've revamped that room. But also you got to take into account the defense got a ton of reinforcements. Kiko didn't play in the spring. Tyler Barron wasn't here yet. Diani Hill wasn't here yet. Damari Brown, did he sit? No, I think he played spring. I want to say he did. Or he missed part of it. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can refresh my memory. But you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of guys were out. I think CJ Clark was out for the spring. A lot of guys were missing. So they got a ton of reinforcements. And Lance Guidry is an aggressive guy. Remember, he couldn't do a lot of what he wanted to do last year because so many defensive linemen were out. There's a lot of different looks now he can throw at the offense. So it's a little different from spring and very different from camp last year. And also, you got to remember the offense. Also, they have a lot of new pieces. They're trying to get to the point where they're gelling. But no, we're getting there. And yes, but to get to my point, offense looked like they won the day. They had some big plays. And yes, the interceptions concerning you, I think a lot of them were more from the backup quarterbacks, just to let you know. I don't think it's in any way a Cam Ward problem. But let me tell you, Robbie, the DBs are making some plays. One guy in particular that I've been hearing a lot about is the emergence of OJ Frederick, true freshman, who it's kind of incredible because he came here late. That's another reinforcement that came for the defense. He was not here for spring practice. And, you know, usually the true freshmen that come in for spring, you know, that graduate early, those are the guys that can come in, they get to work, they get to the weight room right away. You know, they have the spring and the summer to develop physically. Usually the guys that graduate early and enroll early are the ones that contribute right away. He's coming in late, and he's picking this defense up like it's nothing from what I'm hearing. Physically, he belongs. Mentally, he belongs, and he's doing everything right. You're very welcome, sir. You got to remember, I am one of you. I am one of the fanatics. So believe me, I would have loved to have seen the scrimmage today, but believe me, I was, you know, hearing from different people, different things, and all. It's pretty much consistent with what Coach Cristobal said. The offense won today, but certain guys made plays. I mean, Ruben Bain is definitely, I'm sure this is no surprise to any of you guys. Ruben Bain is that dude. And I think he's going to pretty much pick up where he left off. I expect an even bigger season this year from Ruben Bain because last year, as a true freshman, he did not have the, what would you call it? The reputation that he would get a little bit more respect from the referees. He was getting held like every other play. You don't believe me? If you're a hater, if you're a Gator fan or a Seminole fan watching this, please go watch the tape. I invite you to go. I know you're not going to, but, you know, take some time. Watch some highlights, watch a tape of, pick one game if you want. And if you pay attention to number 4 or number 44 back then, you'll see him getting his jersey pulled, getting grabbed, getting pulled down by the shoulder pads, anything you can imagine. Hands to the face, everything. They weren't calling a damn thing. Still had 7.5 sacks, tied for the team lead. As a true freshman, ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year. So he's going to have a huge season. And back to OJ Frederick, there were concerns about depth at the cornerback position. I didn't have too many concerns, to be honest with you, because look, adding Diani Hill was massive. You have 4 proven guys, 4 guys with veteran experience. You have Diani, you have Damari, you have Daryl Porter coming back from his injury. He looked, I mean, if you really looked at like his success rate covering guys one-on-one and all that stuff, I'm forgetting the YouTube channel that really did a great job breaking down. If anybody can put it in the comment section, you know what, I think you might know which channel I'm talking about. They like really meticulously broke down how fantastic Daryl Porter was last year. And dude, he shut it down. He shut it down last year. If he's back from his injury, 100%, that's a dude right there. So you got him, Damari, Diani Hill, and there's Jadis Richard would be the 4th guy. He is versatile, and he can also play a little bit of safety. He's also very big, 6'2", 200 plus pounds. But we were like, okay, but beyond those 4, you're 2 deep at each position with experience. But what if one goes down? Okay. One of the young guys would have to step up. So far, OJ Frederick looks like he is stepping up. Another guy I'm hearing good things about, not necessarily today, but throughout camp and since he's gotten here, is Mac. Very mature, very impressive like just demeanor, work ethic, all that stuff. Yeah, we found two diamonds right there, two gems, because I think both guys were 3-star recruits. But you know how they say a 3-star from here might be a 4-star anywhere else because of the competition they play down here in high school. Hearing Brown's definitely locked down at his spot. Yeah. No, Damari's looking like a future NFL corner. And is a weapon that can also be moved around. He could play on the edge, he can play the boundary, he could also play the slot corner, which is really nice. It allows you other luxuries. That's why the last couple of years they've been recruiting guys that they can cross train. This is why, because you can throw different looks at the offense. And that's probably a big reason why they dominated during the week. But I'm glad to see the offense answer back. We don't have any official stats as of yet. I know this staff, as opposed to past staffs, are a little more secretive about things like that, whereas past staffs would give actual stat lines like, hey, this quarterback went 12 of 17 for 185 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Flow security in the building. What's up, dude? So what was I saying? Yeah. So past staffs would give like a full stat sheet of what went down. This staff, not so much. We may not get that. We may just hear about a few plays here and there. Let's see if there's any other notes that I heard of. I know Justin Scott has been killing it in practice all week. That's a dude that could factor into the 2 deep. I mean, as a 5-star recruit, and he was a top 10, top 15 player overall. Yeah, I would hope that guy can at least be in the rotation somewhere. I don't know about the game against Florida. That's going to be a lot to ask from a true freshman, but those weeks after that, I think you're going to see a lot of Justin Scott for sure. He's really impressing so far in practice. When Cristobal mentions you by name, and if you're a true freshman, that's big. It might, also it's very smart, if you're trying to lock in another top recruiting class, to let other recruits know, hey, you're going to get a chance as a freshman if you earn it. Let's see. Man, Gator fans are so sensitive. Wow. Okay. Whatever. Twitter. Hey, what's up, dude? Finally catching you live. How you? I've been terrific, man. Can't complain at all. Life is good. My hockey team just won the Stanley Cup a month ago, and I'm still on a high from that. So I'm going into this season like a little more relaxed. That was that I needed that one. A long time Panthers fan. So yeah, needed that one. But actually, I haven't done a live in like a month. My last episode was with Vish. It said it was like a little over a month ago. So you actually haven't missed much, Mitch. Are you going to the watch party? Yes, I am. I will be there, sir. So I'll see you there. Let's see if I missed anything here. Oh, let's go. How did the O-line pass protect against the D-line? Let me just put it to you this way. Josh Darrow on his X account tweeted the Great Wall of Mirrorball earlier today. That I think that's all that needs to be said. That O-line did well. If the offense had a big day, the O-line had to have done well. And I know I think some concerns about the interior of the O-line were addressed today, and I definitely feel better about that. I had no doubt that they were going to figure out that left guard spot, and that center spot would be more solidified. I think Matt Carpenter is going to do just fine at center. I think when he got here in the spring, he just had to get up to speed. It's a different kind of speed down here, especially with the athletes that we added this very offseason. So he needed to kind of catch up. And I think once he did, he was up to speed, and he fit in much better. That left guard spot is the big question mark. Do you move CC inside and develop a tackle, or keep CC outside, which is my choice, especially with who we're opening against? And do you fit in McCoy or Pancake or whoever's ahead at the time? I think they're much closer to figuring out who's that left guard. And I think it's yeah, I think by next scrimmage, which will be next Saturday, you're gonna pretty much know who are the starters. You're gonna know who are the starting five on the O line, who are the starting four on the D line. Although you're gonna throw many defensive line looks out there, so I would say if I had to say right now the starting four, Bain obviously, C.J. Clark, and Simeon Barrow. Simeon Barrow's an obvious one also. Um, and then on the other side, probably Tyler Barron, but depending on the situation, maybe Elijah Lofton on like a third down package, like if it's a NASCAR kind of thing, NASCAR package. So you might get different looks on the D line, but the O line, yeah, we'll see how that shakes out. But I'm feeling a lot better about the O line as well, because one concern with me was depth. Last year, thankfully, we didn't have really any injuries. I know Matt Lee got a little dinged up in the Temple game. We all like I panicked a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I kept it to myself. But Matt Lee, I remember hurt his ankle or his foot or something in the Temple game towards the end of the game. And I'm like, no, this is the last thing we need. He's been so good, so reliable. Who do we have behind him? He ended up gutting it out and playing through it and had a solid year. This year, you got Carpenter, but apparently Ryan Rodriguez has improved a ton. That's another thing I feel really good about and solidifies what I believe to be true about Coach Mirabal. The man knows offensive line. If we have a question mark on the offensive line and you give him a full off season and you give him some dudes to work with, he's going to figure it out. And I think he's figured it out. We're probably going to have a better idea again by next week who those starting five will be. But obviously the other 3 or 4 guys, they're set. Inez Cooper, I've said it a million times. I will keep saying it. I think he's the best guard in America. Jalen Rivers, one of the best left tackles in America. He's way up there. He's a Sunday player. Maui Noah, I think, will clean up some mistakes, even though I think his future is ultimately a guard, whether it's here at Miami or in the pros eventually. The guy's a very good tackle, and he's only going to get better. He's such a great athlete that, maybe on certain packages, you move him inside and use him as a pulling guard. Let's see. Thank you, Wesley. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you haven't been checking it out, I'm doing like a EA College Football 25 Dynasty series. Please go check that out. Get the algorithm cranking in my favor because I kind of need it. These videos, they do fine, but for whatever reason, my video game ones, they're getting like 60 views, 90 views. It's same channel. What the hell? But anyway, no, but please, I'm having fun doing it because I love that game. So go check it out. Also follow me, Instagram, TikTok. I like to put up little shorts of me playing the game and all that. So go check that out. But thank you, Wes. I appreciate that. Let's see. Don't forget. Yes, please hit that like button. Appreciate it, Brian. But yeah. So whatever else you got, please throw me some questions. Be happy to try to answer them as best I can. That kickoff return for a touchdown against USF sucked. Yes. What he's talking about is I played USF. Took the lead late in the game, and they had a minute with no timeouts. I kicked it off, and they ran it right back on me. I mean, some things about the game are a little glitchy still. I hope they clean it up. Like, if you like offense, the game is super fun. It's super fun to play offense. It is a pain in the ass playing defense. I mean, an absolute pain in the ass. So, and also special teams, if you're returning a kick, nobody blocks for you. It's certain things are like, come on, really? But no, overall, the game is very fun. Has a bit of a like an arcade feel when you're, making guys miss, juking and spinning and all that stuff. It's fun. And you got Cam Ward at quarterback. I'm hearing Brown definitely locked down his spot. Oh, yeah. No, I looked at that one already. But you reminded me, Robbie, Sam Brown. So it looks like Sam Brown not only might be vying for starting snaps like I thought he would, he might be pulling away in that room, which is crazy because, yeah, in past years when we got like Charleston Rambo or KJ Osborne, yeah, like you could see that. You could see the culture just was not in that room, but they would come in and they were just coming in with a different mentality from they were coming in with a legit Power 5 mentality. Rambo coming in from Oklahoma, Osborne coming in from Buffalo, but he just had that work ethic. He just bet on himself and was like, I need to up my NFL stock, and I'm going to go to Miami. I think they have a good offense. This was back in whenever it was, 2019. And I'm going to put in the work, and he did. And just somebody just coming in and putting in the work, I feel like just pulls away from everybody else. That's been in the last few years. We get a guy out of the portal, they're like far and away the best guy at their position. And it's been good, but it's also been kind of annoying. Like, man, really? Just the development's not there. But I would say last year and this year, I mean, this year we haven't stepped on the field yet officially, but I'm confident that these last couple of years, I'm seeing more the guys that we're bringing in as freshmen, like the guys we're bringing out of high school, are kind of closing that gap with the guys that we're bringing in from the transfer portal, because it was such a gap. You bringing a veteran out of the portal, it made, like, we brought in Mesidor 2 years ago. He was our best defensive lineman, I think, by far, unless it was the day that Leonard Taylor decided to show up. If he didn't, then Mesidor was the best guy on that defensive line that day. But now the reason I say all that is you bring in Sam Brown, and you have a room of proven guys. You have Xavier Restrepo, who's arguably the best slot receiver in America. You got Jacoby George, who had 850 yards last year or whatever it was. He had a solid year. And I think he led the ACC in yards after catch or something like that, or yards after the first hit or something. So you bring him into that room, and then you got Isaiah Horton, who, flashed as a younger guy, but 6'4", 200 plus pounds, has really leaned himself out, gotten faster, looked really good in spring. Bring Sam Brown into that room. You're thinking, okay, he's not going to come in and just like be the dude right away. He's going to have to earn it. There's some other guys that are going to have something to say. And then JoJo, who's really showed out since he's gotten here. But even with all that, Sam Brown has come in and has said, no, I'm going to be the guy. I think I'm going to go ahead and be the number one. Thank you. I think his speed kind of surprised people, and he's going to blow the top off the defense. And I'm very much looking forward to that, because that is one thing that I think was kind of missing from this room. Everybody's solid. JoJo, solid. He could blow the top off the defense every once in a while, but he's more of like a polished route runner, make you miss, get some yak after he makes you miss. X, same thing, does a great job of breaking tackles and getting yak. Isaiah Horton made, good red zone threat, but you don't have the guy that can just do it all with speed, with elite hands, all that stuff. It seems like Sam Brown is that guy. And I can't wait to see it. It sucks he's not in the video game. There's a bunch of guys missing, but whatever. That's another story for another day, but another dude I'm excited about. Let's see. Flo worried about the news out of scrimmage today. They had an awesome day. Yeah. Thank you, Casey. Yes. I know I saw a little bit of his show yesterday. I was surprised. Usually he doesn't get worried that soon, but I don't know. Maybe he heard some stuff or saw some stuff that was discouraging. But again, I think it's less of an indictment on the offense and more of an encouraging sign for the defense. Again, we're coming in to the second year of Lance Guidry, and his defenses do this. His defenses cause problems, okay? And aside from maybe two teams on our schedule, I think this defense is the best defense this offense is going to see all year. They're going to see them 4 or 5 times a week during practice. And that's how it used to be. Iron would sharpen iron. Our offense would get beat up all season during the week, Monday through Friday or whatever it is. And Saturday, all of a sudden, they can make some plays because they don't have Ed Reed coming over the middle and knocking your head off. They didn't have Dan Morgan chasing you down sideline to sideline. They didn't have, whoever. See who was a great, Jerome Brown, Jerome McDougal, any of those guys getting into the backfield and wreaking havoc all the time. The defense, I think, is going to help this offense get better and vice versa. A day like today where the offense says, nah, we're taking it today, answers back, And now the defense has to go back and regroup. Like, okay, we got embarrassed a little bit today. Let's answer them. Old Canes offense never won practices. Yes, thank you. I'm aware of that. Yeah, I remember. I remember there being a lot of concerns going into the Ken Dorsey era. He didn't look amazing in '99. He was a freshman, but I remember my dad telling me this actually going into that 2000 season. Like, hey, remember, this is they get tested and they get pushed throughout the week by maybe the best defense in America. They're going to be prepared on Saturday, and that's how it used to be. That's how the great teams now do it. Imagine, like Georgia, for example. Imagine Georgia's offense having to go against that defense every day. You think Georgia's offense won anything in practice 2 years ago when they had all those first rounders on their front seven? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. But you know what? Then on Saturdays, they run the ball effectively. Whoever their quarterback is, Carson Beck or whoever was before him, they can fit the balls into tight windows and they do their job. They take care of the football. So, it is a good thing, this competition. We haven't had that. I'm officially drinking the orange and green Kool-Aid. And let's freaking go. Yeah, I'll admit I started drinking the Kool-Aid a while ago. When Coach Hayes, shout out to him, when he starts drinking the Kool-Aid, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid because he is a usual anti-Kool-Aid guy. I usually am as well. I try to avoid it. I'm like, I'm going to do my prediction show soon, and I'm going to go through each game. And I'm like, man, is it going to end up 9-3? Are we going to slip up once or twice? Or are we going to go 10 wins or better? I want to just say 10 wins or better just because that has to be the standard now. And that's what Coach Hayes says. And, he did this for a living, so I think he knows what he's talking about. But, yeah, there's so much to be optimistic about. And look, and I'll end on this. I'm seeing for whatever reason, some Florida stuff's popping up on my feed or whatever. I don't know why. But a lot of them are saying that they don't understand the hype with Miami. That, we're always the offseason champions. I'm like, hold on. Let's address this right now. The whole offseason champion thing, I don't know where that came from. Apparently, Miami fans are not allowed to be excited about their team in the offseason because every team's fan base has a group of fans that are excited about the upcoming season. And maybe a tad delusional, but whatever. That's what it is. There are a lot of teams are drinking the Kool-Aid. They act as if every other team's fan base is rational except Miami. That's how they act. And, when Mississippi State, let's say, are thinking, we can contend in our division. We can go to the SEC championship. Nobody bats an eye. Washington, let's say, I think we can, in years past when the Pac-12 existed, I think we could take the Pac-12 this year. I think, we might go all the way. Nobody bats an eye. When Miami's fan base starts chirping a little bit, they get excited, everybody loses their minds. But if you look at, first of all, in the last 20 years, I think we've been entering the season top 25 like 5 or 6 times out of the 20 years. So a small percentage of the time we're going in top 25. Most seasons, people do their prognostications and they're like, we see the Canes finishing 5th in the ACC, 4th in the ACC. That's usually where they predict this, right? And that's usually where we finish, like between 4th and 6th in the ACC or worse. So I don't know, fans saying they don't understand the hype. And let me just tell you this. You don't often see impartial third parties. I'm not talking Miami fans or Miami podcasters or whatever. I'm talking On3, 24/7, PFF, all, Vegas, all these people predicting 10-win seasons for Miami. Pretty much all of them. Vegas has us at 9.5 win total. It's like Vegas usually knows what they're doing. Oh, and by the way, yeah, if you look at that clip, later in the clip, he was like, when asked about the trenches, he was like, "Oh, well, I have to actually go in and watch some tape and see." Oh, so you just talking out of your ass then? Cool. Yeah, that's what bothers me. Is people just coming in and talking their smack, and we're supposed to stay quiet and take it. No, no. Now, will we be prepared? That's what concerns me. That's the only thing concerning me about the Florida game. It is going to be a hostile environment. Yes. They might throw a lot at us first couple possessions. They're going to use the crowd to their advantage. We have to weather the storm. Don't limit the mistakes, hopefully to zero in that first quarter. Get ourselves a little lead. And then I think we can kind of go into cruise control because that's where our trenches can take over. Certain matchups I'm a little nervous about. Cam Jackson against, whoever he's matching up against, he's disruptive. Eugene Wilson on the outside. I'm a little nervous about him, not going to lie. But don't come in here and tell me that, oh, yeah, no, they say this every year. Florida's going to take this one, whatever. You like, no, actually look at it because Miami's roster is better than, I would say, pretty much everybody that they're playing on the schedule. Does that mean they're going to win every game? No, not necessarily. You got to come in prepared and well coached and all that stuff. And that's my concern. But I think Florida fans and whoever is wondering why Miami is so hyped, again, I don't think you're looking into it very much. I don't think you're looking into the fact that, or how much Mario had to clean up when he came in and how much they improved year one to year two. Year one, we go 5-7, we're getting blown out by bad teams. Year two, 7-5, we're in every game. And the schedule was harder. You look at that logically, you're like, okay, that's a pretty big jump. It was a much bigger jump than that 2-game improvement would indicate. We had one problem, our quarterback. That was it. Thank you. Come in prepared, weather the storm, do not let the crowd get to you. If you can set the tone running the football, that will be massive. You can get over that little hump of, the atmosphere and everything, quiet them a bit, and I think we will be just fine. But that would, honestly, that we have the better roster. We've had the better roster in past years. I understand that. Or maybe we thought we did, but it wasn't as good as we thought. That's possible, but I don't know. I just think all these people that think it's just hype, and it's not just Gator fans, it's other people. All these people that think it's just hype, again, I don't think you've done your homework enough. Go watch the tape. That 2-game improvement that on paper you'd be like, oh, they went from 5-7 to 7-5, they still suck. No, the jump was way bigger than you think. Add a quarterback to that. Let's go. All right. That's just me, ranting about stuff I've been hearing and whatnot. But yeah, I'm really encouraged after what I heard today. But the game's in 3 weeks. Yes, I will be at the watch party, at Flo's watch party in Orlando. So if you're gonna be there, come by, say what's up. And yeah, guys, football's here. Thankfully, it was a very fast off season, and I cannot wait. Anyways, have a good rest of your Saturday, guys. As always, go Canes.